What is up, you muffin munching muggles? Welcome to Fiction and Reality, where we help you, yes, you become the most devilishly gifted human that you know you are and that you knew you always could be. I mean, we've all felt it, haven't we? The blood burbling up in our vessels from having been swindled, backstabbed, discombobulated by someone we once considered our ally, and who we could swear had only our best interests in mind. Now, revenge is sweet and sour,
What do you think?
but mostly sweet. Justice for peanut. But you see, the buck doesn't just stop with your cowboy hat-toting dancing squirrel, or a revenge cut so bad that you see the eyebrows and hairline social distancing from each other. Now, today we tell the tale of resilience and resistance, and of the ultimate cost of sweet, sweet, bloody murder. Today we'll take a sip of the delectable but savory nectar to understand what revenge is at its core, and how you can best portray it in your fictional works by examining both real-life historical events and widening the scope of other fictitious works. Whoa. Settle down there, cowboy. We'll get your fresh steaming cup of revenge, but first, we start with the definition. What is revenge? What is that? I don't know what that is.
I'm vengeance.
It's an act committed in retaliation to avenge oneself or another. All right, not too complex, right? Now, of course, revenge can take many forms, and there's so little time to talk about them. So take off your hats,
Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
holster your Remingtons,
Don't move. You move, I'll shoot.
and have a seat.
Why don't you take a seat?
Oh, I don't want to take a seat.
Have a seat.
No, I'm just gonna go.
Take a seat right over there.
How does he do that?
First, we'll talk about the stolen sanctity. Take something precious from your character and they will scrape and claw and delve into the more malignant elements of the human underbelly to retrieve what was lost, especially if what was swindled was emotionally woven into their own caricature. John Wick. Ruff. Is that too edgy, or is it just the right amount of edge? One of the best examples we have of how stolen sanctity is best portrayed is John Wick, a willing-dilling, skull-cracking assassin who earned the reputation of being one of the world's deadliest specters and feared in the criminal underworld as the one and only Baba Yaga. Though a lot of people like the violence aspect of John Wick, and I mean, who wouldn't? You know, sometimes you just gotta, there's nothing in my basement, you don't need to look down there. But it's not simply a story of revenge, but of seeking an identity for oneself. A story written to capture the consequences and repercussions of engaging in a life of violence. But perhaps even more importantly, and what primarily gives credence to John Wick, a tale of grievance. And that, of course, could be best captured by this quote. When Helen died, I lost everything. Until that dog arrived on my doorstep, a final gift from my wife, in that moment, I received some semblance of hope. An opportunity to grieve unalone. And your son took that from me. Stole that from me. Dang, bro, it's just a dog, man. It's just a dog, man. I bet you won't say that to John Wick's face, though.
Baba Yaga. It was just a fucking car, just a fucking dog.
Not at least without ending up like Silco from Arcane, sliced up like Swiss cheese and portobellas. Plus, he killed a man with a pencil. Anyway, I'm ranting. But you get the point, right? Everyone has their threshold, and for John it was the dog. His last fledgling of hope, the loss of his sole chance to grieve in comfort. And it's that loss, that pilling of the last tendril of faith, which calls for sympathy, has the audience rooting for him to topple the tables and on those who had taken what he loved most in this world. Hey, let's talk about Sasuke Uchiha. Well, you all know who Sasuke is, right? Throughout Naruto, we're introduced to Sasuke as an extremely talented and gifted shinobi blessed with the visual prowess of the Sharingan, which when paired with his own intellectual properties allows him to excel when clashing with other shinobi on missions and assignments. It's not long before we learn exactly why Sasuke is the sole survivor of the Uchiha, and why his goal is to become strong enough to take the life of one man, his own brother, Itachi Uchiha. I mean, talk about feelings of betrayal, am I right? So Sasuke trampled onward throughout the pre-time skip and Shippuden arc with the understanding that Itachi Uchiha slaughtered his entire clan, including his own mother and father, simply on the notion of hate and hate alone. However, we find after Sasuke finally gets his wish of fighting Itachi, and after an endless chain of clashes and ultimately Itachi's death, we find out from the masked man that Itachi was ordered by the high authority of the Hidden Leaf to kill the Uchiha in order to prevent the possibility of the outbreak of war due to a coup that was being planned by certain members of the Uchiha, including Sasuke's own father. And if Itachi so chose to refuse, then the Anbu, the special ops of the Hidden Leaf, would have carried out the task themselves, not sparing a single Uchiha life. However, when Itachi agreed, he made one concession, that if he killed the members of his own clan, his brother Sasuke would be allowed to live within the Leaf without knowledge of the events that transpired that night. As a result, Sasuke turns his wrath onto the Leaf village, drowning inside these flames of darkness and charging himself with the order to upset the hierarchical rule of the villagers, who played God, who ostracized and marginalized them as beings not to be trusted. Here we see an example of how revenge, untempered wrath, and a high-strung hunger to retaliate can bleed an individual dry from their rung of stability and can completely consume any and every other reason to exist. But what's even more than that, as with the masked man, we see how Sasuke's revenge and revenge itself may be manipulated for some sick and twisted personal gain, which in this case, for Sasuke, warranted the masked man exposing the secret that Itachi never wanted Sasuke to even know, in order to recruit him into the Akatsuki to capture the remaining tailed beasts and ensure his plan of the infinite Tsukiyomi prevailed and would knock the world into an infinite dream world that allowed them to escape the harsh reality. Isn't it funny how non-linear revenge can be? Now let's talk about some more ways in which revenge can be depicted. As you all know, we humans have found countless endless ways to enact revenge on each other. Sometimes it involves a little poison drop here or there. Drop a little pill there, drop a little pill. Others, the knife just slips out of your hand. How'd that happen? But let's explore some additional ways together to depict revenge to help liven up and separate your vengeance plot from the rest. Julius Caesar and pirates in 75 BC. Julius Caesar and the embarrassment of indignification. In 75 BC, we find Julius Caesar was traveling to Rhodes to study under a famous rhetorician, Apollonius Molon. En route, his ship was intercepted by Sicilian pirates near the island of Pharmacusa. Dude, these words are killing me. These pirates were notorious for their control of the Eastern Mediterranean. I don't know why, but when I heard the word Sicilia, I thought of Cece's Pizza. It's said that during his captivity, Caesar behaved as though he was their leader rather than their prisoner. He openly mocked the pirates, calling them illiterate barbarians, and recited poetry and speeches to them. I mean, can you imagine that? Imagine looking a man dead in the eye while getting cooked up by Shakespearean poems and Japanese haikus. Dog, I'd freeze up. What a Giga Chad. I mean, the kahunas on this guy. I mean, imagine just some Hulkster is walking up to you and you stare him dead in the pupil and you say, "Doth is bulbous as a Bulbasaur, but as dense-headed as a tuft of rocks. I'd beat thee, but I would infect my hands." When the pirates captured Caesar, they demanded a ransom of 20 talents of silver, which is approximately 620 kilograms or over $600,000 in today's money. Caesar, with arrogance, laughed at the sum and insisted that they demand 50 talents instead.
I'm upset. 50,000 on my head is disrespect.
Bro said 20 ducats on my life is egregious, abominable. Despite the situation, he maintained his composure, even joking that once freed, he would return to crucify them all. A statement they took as a jest. It wasn't a jest. After 38 days, the ransom was paid and Caesar was set free. Once released, he immediately began planning his revenge. Instead of heading to Rhodes as originally intended, he gathered a small fleet of ships using his personal funds and connections. Caesar tracked down the pirates to their base. Caesar then had the pirates crucified. However, he showed a measure of mercy by first strangling them to spare them the agony of being nailed to the cross alive. God. Well, all right, that was a little brutal. Let's let's move on to something a little lighthearted, right? Kurapika and the crusade to restore a desecrated legacy. Hey, I know what you're asking. Is that a girl? And no, it's not. It's not a girl. Alrighty then. So similar to Sasuke, Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter, his clan was massacred and persecuted. In this case, Kurapika's clan was massacred by the Phantom Troop in order to steal their eyes and sell them as exquisite collectibles. And thus his bristling rage was born, and his path to seek revenge for those who lost their lives against the Phantom Troop was born. He learns a nin ability, Chain Gel, which he used to bind his enemies and honor the legacy of the Kurata clan by not just embracing his scarlet eyes, but seeking to retrieve the scarlet eyes of his massacred family members and enacting his own justice against the Phantom Troop. One of Kurapika's most significant confrontations and triumphs is with Yuvigan, a member of the Phantom Troop. Yuvigan is known for his immense physical strength and vulnerability to most attacks. However, Kurapika is able to capture and kill him using his nin abilities, specifically his Judgment Chain technique. Interestingly enough, Kurapika's journey is marked by intense sacrifice, loneliness, and the cost of obsession with revenge. Ultimately, his quest for revenge highlights the emotional toll that seeking justice can take, as it shapes his identity and influences every action that he takes. Julie D. Abaguni in Sour Love. God, these names. Listen, I'm not saying that name again. Henceforth, she will be known as Julie. Just look at how it's spelled. It's not me, I swear. It's the name. You try saying that 2 times as fast while hopping on your leg, and even Elmo would probably be looking at you like your brain is nothing but a sack of rocks.
Rocco wants to eat it! How? How is Rocco gonna eat that cookie, Zoe? Tell Elmo! Rocco doesn't even have a mouth! Rocco's just a rock! Rocco's not alive!
So how about a little bit more drunk history, eh? See, Julie was born into an aristocratic family, and her early life was marked by privilege. However, her strong-willed personality led her to defy many expectations and norms for women in her time. Alright. Her famous tale of revenge is intertwined with a nobleman, Count de la Manta, who engaged in a passionate relationship with her. Very passionate. Something's going on with these names, man. I gotta work up on my Europeanese. It's thought that the Count cheated on her, spurring the sequence of dramatic events into motion. Julia, trained swordswoman, decided to confront the Count. She took the matter to the dueling arena, disguising herself as a man and challenging the Count to a duel. After she won the duel, she publicly humiliated him, making it clear that he had been bested by a woman. This revenge, a mix of personal pride and public display, showed the Count's lack of honor and marked Julie's power over him. The duel itself was an intense, dramatic display of her skill. Ooh, a 1v1, eh? Nerf Monty, Nerf Blitz. But what's more than her spitefulness against the Count, she was somewhat resistant against the social pillar of norms established within society. For example, it's known that she's kissed women in public, fenced other men, dressed as a man as well, and she might have set a nun on fire. Alright, so maybe we should look a little bit inward. What's the most important aspect of tackling revenge that you should pay careful attention to? Well, it's ferreting out what revenge means to your character. Just as you've seen on display, what it means to characters like Kurapika, John Wick, and historical figures like Caesar and Julie. Remember, it is always introspection that is responsible for cross-linking the emotional bonds between your character or audience. And if you feel adrift, always know that you can swim back to those foundational principles. Scope out the shoreline. What are the consequences of your character enacting their revenge or failing to do so? Is it disgrace? Is it honor? Are they being forced to enact a vengeance against their will? These are some questions to keep in mind. Alright, so this last bit is for the real ones who really stuck through the entire video. Guys, I just wanted to thank you all for the support I'm getting on these videos I'm making. If you check, you'll see that we're running towards 100 subscribers, right? In just 3 months of me starting the channel. Yay, right? Yay. Everyone, yay. I'm thinking about doing a Q&A stream where I may or may not give away a little something. I ain't saying what it is, but hey, you know what would be nice? It would be nice if my comment section would resurrect itself from the dead. I see a few consistent comments, and those people may get priority with regard to the giveaway, whatever that is. Hint, hint. Maybe we'll start with a simple yes or no in the comments, right? Baby steps. Is the Q&A a go? Should I do it? No, but honestly, I would love to just interact with you guys and get a feel for who's really lurking in the shadows. So I'm hoping this will encourage you all to get a little bit more active. And for you guys, yes, the 140 of you who keep coming back to this hellhole, and the 49 of you who aren't subscribed, I humbly ask for you to just put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
Just put some respect on my name. Hit that sub button. All right, I don't got no more talk.
Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking.
Oh, wait. Go forth. Take your knives out and holster your Remingtons. Fence to your heart's content. And take back what is rightfully yours. Make your character's venture of revenge one worth cheering for. I will leave a link to my socials in the description below. And if you took something from this video, I want you to take a moment to hit that subscribe button below and like the video. It pushes these videos out so that others can take these key tokens that you've gained. So do your fellow comrades a favor. And with that, remember, if ever you are lost in a forestry of words, strip your mind from fantasy and look to the window of the world, and there your mind will run free.